Jimmy Garoppolo is getting better. So the week prior against the Rams, I thought that he did a really good job of just throwing the ball, not into the first window, which has gotten him in trouble, but the second window. This week, this was the best version by far that I've seen from Jimmy, and not from a statistical standpoint, but just forming good habits, beating the blitz, pushing the ball down the field, playing within the pocket and going through his reads. He did just about everything right. There was one blemish earlier in the game that we'll go over, but outside of that, he just played about as well as you can ask. So let's start with this first third down. Normally, we see Jimmy Garoppolo take the underneath receiver pretty much 9 out of 10 times. So what we're going to have here is they have George Kittle running a corner route. He's going to widen his release here in attempt to bump the one defender and kind of get him off the track. He's going to go to the corner. So by doing that, by getting to here, so you can see what I'm talking about. By widening his release, Kittle's going to cut off the defender who is supposed to guard Kyle Juszczyk underneath. So as you can see, Kyle Juszczyk's probably open. 3rd and 6, he's going to pick that up. Again, 9 out of 10 times, maybe even 10 out of 10 times, Jimmy is going to take that. He knows he has one-on-one coverage. George Kittle's going to win that matchup. If you just put the ball in play, Jimmy does a really nice job of putting the ball outside in a way, high in a way, where only 85 can make the play. 85 comes down with it, shields the defender. Perfect. That is an ideal rep. That is sustainable. And that is pretty much how the rest of the game went. You can see the pocket here, and the offensive line deserves a ton of credit Sunday as well. So Brian Burns had 1 sack. He's a really good player. They get paid too. Outside of that, I think the 49ers did a really nice job up front. All right, so here you're going to see Jimmy Garoppolo kind of go through multiple reads, and he's confident. When he's playing like this, you can tell he's confident. So this is some Shanahan wizardry right here. Watch George Kittle go in orbit motion, and that just means he's going behind the line, behind the backs here. So he's going to hold the flat defender right here. So it's a curl flat, essentially. So you have the curl route right here. You have the flat route right here. Same thing up top. You have the flat route here to hold this defender. Kyle Juszczyk's going to run a return route, and you're going to get like a bang, slant, bang post from Deebo Samuel right there. So what should Jimmy be doing? He should be reading this flat defender. He'll tell you where to go. He goes wide, but linebacker does a good job of widening it out. So Jimmy goes to his next read. And as you can see, works out well. Again, it's not flashy, but this is how you play quarterback. And just a good job of executing overall. From the line, from Jimmy, you can see his helmet, processing. Stay ahead of the chains. And this is what we saw all game from them. All right, so here's the almost interception. And what they're going to have here is Deebo Samuel's going to come up, and he's going to run like a little bender, dig, in route, coming across the middle. And it's max protection. So everybody's blocking except Deebo. And then you're going to have Brandon Ayuk, who's going to run a deep post coming here. What Jimmy should be looking at is this post safety right here, single high safety. If he bails and runs with the post, Deebo's going to be open. If he jumps and just kind of plays flat-footed, you're going to take the shot up top to Ayuk. So let's watch how the play plays itself out. As you can see, so right there, the safety's flat-footed, and Jimmy pretty much already makes up his mind that he's going to come to Deebo here on this in-breaking route. The double pat right there is what really gets him. Again, the way the defenses have played Jimmy over the course of his career for the 49ers is like they're sitting on everything. They're trying to jump all of these underneath routes. So watch the pat. That kind of gets him in trouble. That double pat right there. And then from there, it gives a chance for the safety to make a play. Fortunate to not have an interception, but football gods evened it out with a Kittle fumble a couple plays later. This is one of those heat check throws where, so the Panthers, they came at the 49ers. So this is cover 0. They blitz 6. And on this play, this is the Jeff Wilson play where he's just going to essentially throw it blind to Wilson down the sideline. The 49ers have a route concept, as you can see on the top. We're going to walk through it. So again, the Panthers are blitzing 6. And that means everybody is in man coverage on the back end. That means they have one-on-one across the board. So when you have that, especially with this route concept that the 49ers have on right now, the ball should probably go here. You're hot. You're usually going to replace the blitzer. So it probably should go to Deebo. He's open right there, as you can see. But this is the value of having a veteran quarterback who knows where all of the routes are. I know that everybody's going to be one-on-one. He gives Jeff Wilson a chance. Or sorry, this is Tevin Coleman a chance down the sideline. Coleman makes a very acrobatic catch. That's not easy for any player, especially a running back. But you can see from the end zone view here, kind of Jimmy, blind throw it. This is a really freaking accurate throw considering he has somebody breathing down his neck right here. Defensive end. He's looking at Debo. He senses the rush, and then he just heaves it up, gets smacked. Great throw. Great catch by Coleman. And the 49ers stay on the field. So probably not the greatest process, but the result looks good. And again, I will never fault Jimmy for throwing the ball down the field. So again, I love the habits that we're seeing early on here. All right, I'm thinking, who is playing quarterback and what did you do with Jimmy Garoppolo? So to the bottom of the screen, we have a switch concept. The outside receiver is going to run 5 and in. Second slot receiver is going to run 10 and in. Simple high-low concept. Shanahan, high-low God. Jimmy, more often than not, he's taking this 5 and in. And it's open more often than not. But the second level, that second layer route is always open. And we'll get a chance to see it from the end zone angle, but we're going to read this guy right here. He is going to tell us what to do with the ball. So as you can see, he's not really respecting the route behind him. He has his eyes on Kyle Juszczyk right there. Jimmy does a really nice job of reading him, knowing that I can fit the ball in the middle right there, knowing that I have my better option in Brandon Ayuk at the second level, at the second layer, and he takes advantage. So let's watch from the end zone angle. See what Jimmy sees from this side. So he is reading him. There's not a big window right there, as you can see. So he does a good job. I mean, he always does a good job of getting rid of the ball on time, but you can see defender is kind of wide, so I guess there's a little bit. But the ball's right here. Gets rid of it on time. Squeeze it in between. Trust that, hey, like Brandon Ayuk's going over the middle. He knows he's going to have contact either way. Bounces off contact, and they get an explosive play. So kudos to Jimmy for hitting the second level, hitting the second layered route. And that's how these big plays are going to happen. And plays like this are sustainable. So hat tip to Jimmy. All right, another shot down the field. This is new for me because we're not used to seeing this from the 49er offense, and it's fun to watch. It's fun to see them push the ball down the field because they have the weapons to do so. So in this play, it doesn't work out. As you can see, we're watching the top of the screen. So we have running back and we have Brandon Ayuk in the slot. So the running back goes into short motion, which is essentially a check motion, and that just means if he's going to come with him, more than likely, they're going to be in man coverage. So by doing that, Jimmy identifies, he, comes with him, and that way, I have a slot fade to the top of the screen. I'm taking that every day of the week. Gives Ayuk a chance, doesn't come up with it. If Brandon Ayuk is going to be a superstar in this league, he's going to have to make that catch. The most impressive part about this play is probably not the throw. I think it's Jimmy identifying what the Panthers are doing. So, look, we got man coverage across the board. I said that Carolina came after the 49ers passing game. So they're going to bring, I believe, the house again. So everybody is manned up. We're going to see it from the end zone view. He looks at 98 rushing off our left here, the bottom of the screen. And it is very impressive that he is able to, let's watch his helmet. So as you can see, he's pushing the motion in, or he's checking for the motion. See his helmet flash to the right there? Watch Jimmy's helmet right now. He's looking right. He peaks at 98. He's responsible for this extra rusher. So you can see full slide. Let's go back to the top here. So Moore's going to slide. Banks is going to slide. They're all sliding to the gap to their left. Brunskill slides. McGlinchey slides. That means we have a free rusher. You're always going to leave the furthest rusher away from the quarterback because he has the least probability to get home. So Jimmy Garoppolo is going to peak at 98, knows that I have to beat him, and then just throws a perfect pass that 11 has to catch. And he will catch. So I wouldn't be like, that's the one thing I will say. Hopefully Jimmy doesn't, go away from throwing these passes down the field just because of one instance like this where they don't catch the ball, but he couldn't throw this ball any better. It's right on him. As you can see, the head ball coach right here afterwards just kind of say, shoot. But it was there, man. And process versus results, really great rep there all around from 10. All right, so first play out of the half, the 49ers are keeping their foot on the gas, so another positive sign. They're going to take a shot play, and this is a lot like the near interception that we saw earlier in the game. So Deebo's going to come up, and he's going to run an in-breaker on this side. Essentially, they just flip the play, which Shanahan does a lot. And then we're going to have Danny Gray run a deep post. So with this single high look, all Jimmy is doing is reading him. If he stays flat-footed, throw the post. If he bails with Danny Gray in the post, throw Deebo underneath. So if we're just watching him right now, he will tell us what to do. By the time Jimmy gets his drop, he sees we got the safety nailing down on Deebo's route. We got one-on-one against a really freaking good corner in J.C. Horn. But still, we'll take one-on-ones all day down the field. Danny Gray doesn't have a step, but that's okay. Process versus results. So let's watch it from the top again. Mind you, max protection, so Jimmy should have time to get the ball down the field. Probably want to see Danny Gray not get muscled, just do a better job of fighting for the ball in the air, and he'll learn from that. Again, Horn is a really good player. You'll see the protection here. No issues. Jimmy lets it fly. I don't have any issue with the throw. I think Horn just makes a better play, and it's okay to admit that. I think Gray will learn how to play the ball in the air better, but I like the process from Jimmy. He read the right route, he went to the ball with the right spot, and he pushed the ball down the field. All that's going to do is open up everything else underneath for the offense as the season goes along. So really good to see him form these habits. So on Wednesday, Kyle Shanahan said that Brandon Ayuk played the best game of the season against the Panthers. And he also cited that it's not due to stats because they can only get these guys the ball so many times. In a dream world, the 49ers would drop back 50 times and George Kittle would have 10 targets. Brandon Ayuk would have 10 targets. Deebo Samuel would have 10 targets. That's not how they play the game. This is a running team. This will always be a running team as long as Kyle Shanahan is the head coach. But that doesn't take away from, the talent level that they have. So I just want to show this route from Brandon Ayuk. It is very impressive, and it kind of tells you who he is as a receiver. So watch him here. He is going to widen his release right there. And he's going to flip the hips of the DB, gets the DB turned around. So right now, he already won because he's going to break inside. As you can see, the pocket, again, this is what you want. Like, this is what Jimmy would dream about, I imagine. They could probably drop back and throw it 50 times if they knew they were going to get that type of protection. Anyway, back to Brandon Ayuk. So, as I said, he already won by getting the DB flipped around. Look at that separation. There's about 5 yards of separation if you just want to go back to the top. So if I were to screenshot press coverage to that big of separation, easy pitch and catch. So many good players. Give Jimmy a time. And again, if he's playing with this type of confidence, if he is seeing the field as he did against Carolina, this offense has a chance to be dynamite. All right, it wouldn't be a 49er offensive breakdown without a Juwan Jennings third down catch. And I think the offense did a really nice job on third down altogether in this game. Again, it goes back to protection. It goes back to having somebody know what the defense is presenting and getting rid of the ball on time. And by getting rid of the ball on time, Jimmy is allowing his guys to run after the catch. So it's pretty simple here. We have one guy who's going to run off. It's third down, as I mentioned, and Jennings is going to run out. Let's watch when Jimmy gets rid of the ball. So the ball is essentially out of his hand right now. He's beyond his windup. His head is not turned around. That is good time. That is excellent timing. It's better than good timing. You see the separation. It's low and away, so that's where it needs to be. Jennings has to break a tackle for this to be a first down, but he's a big, strong dude, and that's what he does. We had a long run and catch in this game later when he bounced off a tackle. So I think this play, Jimmy deserves a lot of credit on this play. It doesn't seem like it, but getting rid of the ball quickly, beating the blitz, acknowledging that I need to get rid of the ball, and then Jennings makes a play. No complaints. I know I showed the play earlier where, he had the near interception, and that has been an issue for Garoppolo. But if you just look at all the other plays, how he beat the blitz, where he's going with the football, getting the ball to the right guys, getting the ball to his best players down the field. I think everything that we saw against Carolina is sustainable, and I am crossing my fingers that this is the version of the 49ers offense that we see for the rest of the season. You know, we do have to remember that he didn't have a preseason, and not just a preseason. Like, he didn't play. He was on the sideline throwing. He was on the side field, throwing during training camp. So, yes, he has a ton of starts under his belt, but I don't know. This is a new cast. This is a new cast team. It's the same weapons, but they're better. Debo's better. Brandon Ayuk's better. I think they're all just more polished. And while it is a new offensive line, this is probably the best offense that they've had. So we'll see if they are able to keep up. As you can see, I mean, the running game, that we're seeing more explosive plays. Hopefully they can keep it up with the Falcons, and then the big test with the Chiefs after that. So we'll be back next week, and hopefully that is with a victory with plenty of explosive plays. So I will be back next week. Please rate, just subscribe, like this video. Let me know how you feel about it in the comments, or if there's anything else you want me to break down. So thanks everybody for watching.